Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, faculty and students, welcome to the TAU International Graduate Program's End of the Year event. Please join me now in welcoming the 210 students present tonight. Let's start with the MA in Archaeology and History of the Land of the Bible. The MA in Conflict Resolution and Mediation. The MA in Social Work, specializing in Crisis and Trauma Studies. The MPA in Emergency and Disaster Management. The MA in Environmental Studies. The MA in Jewish Studies. The MA in Middle Eastern Studies. The MA in Migration Studies. The MA in Political Science and Action, Leadership, Communication and Elections. The MA in Security and Diplomacy. MBA. Good evening to you all. My name is Maureen Meyer, and I'm the director of TAU International. I will be your master of ceremony tonight. We're here to celebrate, in one ceremony, the culmination of a journey of over 300 international students who joined us for their master degree from all over the world. Some students had to already return to their countries, but we're glad they are with us through our live stream. This is also the case for all our TESOL students who finished the program in June already and are not able to be with us tonight. So to the camera, Mazal Tov and welcome to you as well. About 10 months ago, you, our dear students, arrived here in Israel. You are the enablers of our vision. Carefully selected, you lived up to our expectations. You have formed a network, friendships, and above all, demonstrated outstanding academic commitment. The focus remains on you. As you graduate, we encourage you to put your newly acquired skills to the practical test. Get out there. We believe in your ability to complete this task and affect change wherever your dreams lead you. We look forward to a global conversation among our alumni network. We see you all as long-term partners in our journey to train leaders that will make a change. It is now my great pleasure to welcome the President of Tel Aviv University, Professor Joseph Klafter.
Ambassador Avri Primor, deans, faculty members, staff members, parents, guests, and of course you, dear students. Welcome to the first annual end-of-the-year ceremony of Tel Aviv University's international programs. It's not that we didn't celebrate programs before, but they were not in an annual gathering like here, but in separate programs. I understand that due to the condensed nature of the international graduate programs and the fact that many of you are going back home to continue your professional endeavors, this is not a graduation ceremony, but yet an opportunity to thank you for joining us and a goodbye and congratulations event. So congratulations to all our graduate degree candidates. About a year ago, or 10 months, I met all of you, or most of you, in the opening ceremony of these programs, and I felt the excitement in the air at that time. Today, this day, brings to an end what I believe was an intensive, fascinating, and challenging experience. A fun year filled with academic and cultural adventures. Ceremonies like this are actually about the future. And you, future graduates who traveled here from all over the world, 44 countries, give us a good reason to believe that you can contribute and help to create a better tomorrow. You've already accomplished a lot. Despite the very many challenges that we are all faced with, I have a confidence in your capacity to contribute to society and to carry on a productive and fulfilled life. What the university actually provides you with is a toolbox for life. Critical thinking, not being afraid of changing and questioning paradigms, and really looking to making strong impacts. And I hope that you carry this toolbox with you. For the management of the university and for myself as a president, I'm very proud of the globalization that the university is going through. This is one of the strategic goals of the university. The globalization has been expressed by the growing number of programs that we have in English, 13 graduate programs and now 2 complete undergraduate programs in English. The university takes pride in these programs as they enable us to attract fine youngsters like you from all religions, backgrounds, and all parts of the world. And by being here to provide you with top-tier education that will prepare you to the 21st century global workplace. These programs are actually an integration of what the university can provide. Top researchers that are around, extracurricular activities, and general experience that brings out the best in Israel, in Tel Aviv as a city, and Tel Aviv University. And I foresee in the near future an even growing number of courses and programs in English that can reflect the wealth of areas of research and teaching that we have here on campus. So I would like to part with you with the hope that when you settle in your new careers that you embark on in either the government world, corporate world, NGO, or anything else, and you can still then continue to commit to the program, to the faculty that you met here, to the friends that you met here, and to Tel Aviv University. So basically, you are our next ambassadors in the world, and we trust that you will continue spreading the good word about the university. So remember, you'll always be part of the Tel Aviv family. So thank you and good luck.
Thank you, Professor Klafter. I'm now pleased to introduce Mr. Joshua Villanueva. Joshua completed his BA in International Studies at the University of Florida and subsequently worked for a year with African American students at an inner-city school in Chicago. His interest in helping disadvantaged communities and passion for multiculturalism has led him to focus on the field of migration here at Tel Aviv University. Joshua has proven to be a strong leader academically and also immersed himself in the field through the work with the Bialik Rogozin School in South Tel Aviv and Project Yoel at the Tel Aviv University Mechina. Please.
Thank you very much for that nice introduction. As the plane touches down in Ben Gurion Airport, most people feel a surge of excitement at having arrived in one of the most historical and holy places on this planet. I would like to believe that I also shared this sentiment. Unfortunately, the memory of the entire moment is dominated by the singularly most pressing thought bearing on me at the time. Where are all the trees? Now, to be fair, I had arrived in August, which is the height of the dry and hot season, as you guys all know. And also, this is not to mention that I had come by way of subtropical Florida, hardly a fair point of reference. Most importantly, however, my judgment was devoid of historical context. You see, the matter of fact is that out of all the countries in the world, Israel is the only one that has more trees today than it did 100 years ago. As former Prime Minister David Ben-Gurion would have surely described it, the country has come a long way in making the desert bloom. Within its short span of existence as a state, Israel has been a model in positive environmental transformation, but also in many other fields, such as high-tech entrepreneurship, foreign diplomacy, and disaster management. If you take a good look at your program, you will see that the international graduate degrees offered by Tel Aviv University resemble a variety platter of Israeli specialties. For my own part, I was attracted to TAU's Migration Studies program by the prospect of learning firsthand from a country that has built itself on the large-scale integration of newcomers from around the world. My experiences in this field this past year have intrigued me, impressed me, and sometimes, to be honest, even disenchanted me. But now, arriving at the end of it all, I must say that I have gained so many valuable insights. I sincerely hope that all of you here today can say something similar of your own experiences. However, I entreat you for a moment not to consider what you have gained or why you initially came here, but to consider the forces that have enabled you to participate in this program here today. Now, as you've probably heard time and again, today we live in a world that is more interconnected than ever. What you may be less conscious of, however, is that the fact that you and I are the direct beneficiaries of that world. With 2 or more degrees and a few languages in hand, we are the global creative class, a group of professionals who permeate state boundaries in pursuit of the next job opportunity or life experience. The world is our oyster, and yet our privileged position endows us with both important responsibilities and major challenges. If I can make an educated guess, this is not the first time that most of you have studied outside of your home country. In fact, you're probably not even settled in one location and may even feel uncomfortable staying in one place for too long. Over time, you have become accustomed to making friends and leaving them, exploring new environments only to slowly forget their contours, seeing problems without ever truly having the time to solve them. If we stop and reflect for a moment, is this really an ideal way of life? I think more than any other generation, we're confronted with questions of identity and of purpose. On the one hand, this is the product of a high quality of life that accords us the peace of mind to pursue such philosophical needs. On the other, however, I believe that the mixity of our own backgrounds, as well as the diverse cultural influences that bombard us from every direction, break down the notion that there is only one correct path in this life. Sometimes, I feel like the only thing that many of us can be certain of is that we want to make a positive impact on this world. Yet we are handicapped in achieving this goal by our own disdain for staying in one place for too long. In essence, we are desperately seeking to make the desert bloom, but we are ourselves afraid to put down solid roots. I'm here today to encourage you to believe that every once in a while, it is worth it not only to skim the surface, but to penetrate the soil with our bare hands, to dig deep until the earth enters our fingertips, and then grab on vigorously to the most embedded chunk of earth that we can find, so as not to be blown away by the next challenge or temporal desire for change. As a student of migration and someone who has lived in 3 different countries in the past 5 years, I'm not here to tell you to stop traveling, nor am I suggesting that you close yourself off from the many benefits and gifts of this globalized world. However, I am recommending that if you find yourself desiring to strengthen your sense of identity and not only learn from, but give back to a community, you'd be best served by persisting in one location, at least for some time. To understand my point, simply reflect on how a tree benefits its environment. Given a sufficient amount of water, sunlight, and let's not forget, time, the tree grows larger and becomes an important provider of shade, oxygen, and even food. Moreover, its massive branches and trunk shield against the violent winds which cause soil erosion, allowing new life to spring up nearby. In short, the growth of a new tree can help transform an arid land into a verdant one. Jewish tradition celebrates trees. In fact, so much so that it has dedicated an entire holiday to them called Tu B'Shvat. We appreciate the many benefits that trees provide us, but in fact, I believe there's a deeper meaning to this holiday. You see, by celebrating trees, we're praising the lifestyle that they represent. A lifestyle of giving to those around us and patiently working year after year until we have completely transformed our environment. At the root of it, what we are really praising are the traits of commitment and selflessness. It was my desire coming to Israel to be like the tree, to find a place where I could integrate and put down my roots so that I could make a positive difference. I realize now that when I arrived in Ben Gurion Airport that day, I shouldn't have been saddened by the lack of greenery outside, but excited by the opportunity to plant where it is greatly needed, to make the desert bloom. I thus challenge everyone as follows. Consider where you come from and remember where you have been. Think about what is important to you and how you can make a positive impact on this world. And then stick with it. Where you decide to plant is entirely your choice. But please do plant because the world needs you. As Ben Gurion once said, for those who make the desert bloom, there is room for hundreds, thousands, and even millions. Congratulations on the completion of your studies at Tel Aviv University, and good luck wherever you find yourself. Thank you.
Thank you, Joshua. It is now my pleasure to invite our keynote speaker tonight, Ambassador Avi Primor. Ambassador Primor is director of the Trilateral Program for European Studies, an Israeli-Palestinian-Jordanian cooperation project at Tel Aviv University. For 39 years, he was a member of the Israeli Ministry of Foreign Affairs, amongst others as Israel's ambassador to the European Union, Belgium, and Luxembourg, as well as ambassador to the Federal Republic of Germany. His field of expertise is international relations, and since March 2010, he is president of the Israel Council on Foreign Relations.
כבוד נשיא האוניברסיטה, פרופסור קלפטר, מורין, תודה שהזמנת אותי ולברך אותך ביום הזה. Dear students, dear families, dear friends, congratulations to you all. I'm here to tell you a little bit about substance, not so much about your studies, not so much about the ceremony and the congratulations everybody else talks to you about, but think a bit longer. What is the meaning of your international studies? You're not normal students like the world has known ever since university has been created. You are students in an international forum. You study in a foreign country for you. You don't know where your future is going to be, but it's certainly going to be international. And this is something that unites you with the history of the Jewish people. The Jewish people have a double history. It has a history of anti-Semitism, of hatred, but it also has a history, a very long history of creativity. A creative nation, which brought it admiration, but also hatred. And this is something we should think about it for 1 minute and see how we can combine it with you. What is anti-Semitism? Where does it stem from? Where did it start? Why did it start? The usual explanation is when you look back at the Roman Empire after the destruction of the Jewish kingdoms in this country, and you see a multinational society. The Roman society was far from being a perfect society, but it was multinational. Maybe everybody hated everybody, maybe everybody was jealous of everybody, but it was common that there is a multicultural society, multi-religious society, and everybody was tolerated and accepted as long as you respected the political order. This changed with Christianity. When Christianity came, all of a sudden, all of those nations living in the Roman Empire were united under one framework, within one religion. They all became Christians, from the emperor down to all of the populations and the tribes and the nations that composed the empire. With one single exception, the Jewish people. They were the only ones, stubborn, for historical reasons probably, who remained loyal to their own religion and did not join the new religion which became the new order and the new social and political order, not just religious. Being a very small minority, dissociated from the overall society, they were not particularly liked. Nobody likes somebody who goes its own way. And what happens under those conditions is that people ask themselves, why are these people different? Why aren't they like everybody else? Why can't they be like us? Why can't they go to church like we do? Why do they have to go to something they call a synagogue? Something fishy there. And this is the beginning. The beginning is ignorance. When you don't know what the others are really doing and why they're doing it. The ignorance encourages suspicion. If they are different, they must have a reason. They must be preparing something which could not be good for us. And suspicion encourages fear. If they, over there in the dark, prepare something that we're not aware of, maybe we should be afraid of it. And fear encourages hate. Hate has mostly its origins, its roots in fear. You might be the majority, you might be the big masses, they might be a very small minority, but the big majority can fear a small minority, and that is the origin of racism. That's the origin of anti-Semitism. This is the classical explanation how anti-Semitism came into the world. And usually we say that anti-Semitism has its roots in religious hatred. And it's probably true. This is probably so. But it is by far not the only reason. It was by far not the only essence of the development of the perennity of anti-Semitism throughout the ages. In fact, something else has developed. The world has been united, the world we knew We're not talking about China, we're talking about the world. We knew the European world of those years, of those ages, all under Christianity, all under the same education, and all very, very different from one another. And there was very little contact between people, particularly in the Middle Ages. There was one little tribe that was different in two basic ideas. The Jewish people had two different characteristics, if we should ignore the religious one. First of all, the Jewish people always believed in education. The Jewish people always believed that their children have to learn to read and write. This was basics. Whereas the world society was ignorant. Most people could not read or write. And by the way, religious tradition didn't encourage the learning of reading and writing. The priest was standing there and reading to the audience, but the audience couldn't read by itself. Was it purposely done this way or not? It's a long story, but it's a fact. By the Jews, probably the only ones, it was an absolute tradition, an absolute necessity to teach every child, boy or girl, by the way, to read and write. Being able to read and write opened the world for them. And being Jewish and having contacts or possible contacts with Jews in other countries made it easier for them to communicate with other countries, communicate by writing, and eventually more than writing, by commerce, by common projects. This made Jews prosperous. This made Jews sometimes, for the authorities who hated them, indispensable for their own business. And this, in its turn, created jealousy. And I think jealousy is probably an element that we are not so much aware of, which was a creator of anti-Semitism much more than the religious aspect of the things. If you take the history of the Jews in the late 19th century, and again I'm talking about Europe or North America, I'm talking about a Western civilization. If you take this time in consideration, you will see that the Jews have acquired what we call the emancipation. They became citizens. Legally, they were equal citizens. But precisely at that moment, when they became equal citizens, precisely at that moment, when they could join the society in all aspects of life, in all careers, in all studies, a new anti-Semitism emerged. It had its origins to begin with in Germany, and that was the racial anti-Semitism. We don't hate you because you're not a Christian, because you can become a Christian if you want. We hate you because you were born the way you were born, and this you cannot change. There's no modification for that, and that led all the way to the Nazi ideology and to the Holocaust, because there's no reparation if you were born the way you were born. Why was that? Why was this new anti-Semitism born? Why did it become so dangerous, much more than the traditional dangerous anti-Semitism? Precisely when people started to get in contact with the Jews, when the Jews got out of their ghettos, when the Jews started to speak the language of their neighbors, join the culture of their neighbors, look like their neighbors, dress like their neighbors, behave like their neighbors. Why precisely then? There's only one single explanation, and that is jealousy. Because Jews who were educated, because Jews who insisted on education. At the beginning it was just reading and writing, but with the emancipation it went on in all directions of life. These Jews had the tools to become successful, to become international. And the world grew constantly, ever more international. And the Jews were the best vehicle for this development. Look at a country which always fascinated me in this respect. It so happened I came back from Vienna today, and I thought about it. The Austrian Empire that existed until the end of the First World War was a very liberal empire. It was a monarchy. It was not a democracy, but it was an enlightened monarchy. It was a liberal monarchy. And the emperors, the leaders, the political figures of this empire really insisted on equal rights for everybody, including the Jews, much more than many other countries in Europe. I'm not talking about democracies, but Europe at that time was principally monarchies. And the Jews felt well in the Austrian Empire. And then came the 20s. And anti-Semitism grew and grew and grew in Vienna. Maybe more than in Germany. Probably more. And the hatred was so vehement. In Germany, it was a matter of the authorities, of the party, of the official propaganda that did have its impact on the overall population, but it didn't stem from the population. In Vienna, it did. Why? Because the Jews were so very successful in this impoverished Vienna of the 20s and the 30s. They were a shining example of what you can do if you have education, if you have science, if you have ambition, and if you are open to the outside world, which the others were not. So what I'm trying to say is that you follow the footsteps of those Jews who were so successful, who to a great extent were a symbol for many other people, but who were hated. Who were hated, and this is probably something you will never feel. You will feel the sunny side of it, but not the dark side of it. Why? Because the world has changed. Because today everybody knows that education is essential. Because today everybody appreciates education and knows that there's no advance without it. It's a different world. But still in this very different world, in this modern world, we need international contacts. We need openness. And you'll never believe how little of it we have. Even in Europe, in the European Union. People still stick to their own traditions, to their own culture, and are shy of contact with the unknown. Those who are capable of overcoming this difficulty, those who are capable of knowing the international society, those who are able to lead the international contacts, the openness towards a very ever-opening world, will be the most successful ones. You, with your education, you will have the advantages the Jews had without having the disadvantages. And this is not always an easy story. You know, it's been mentioned here that I had the greater part of my career in the diplomatic service, and that is true. If I observe diplomacy today in the democratic world, not all over, talking about the West, Western culture, Western society, what was diplomacy in old times? And I'm not talking about the Middle Ages, let's talk about the 19th century. Diplomacy was, like the Brits used to say, a man who was sent abroad to lie for his country. A man who was sent abroad to spy for his country. A man who was sent abroad to fight the host country for the interests of his own, for the country that has sent him. It was another means of an international war when there was no fighting between soldiers. So the diplomats fought cruelly for the interests of their own country with a very specific aim of harming the other, of advancing at the cost of the other. This is not anymore the case. We have learned something. We have learned a lot. We know that, like in the commercial world, what is a good business? What is considered a good commercial deal? A good commercial deal between two merchants is precisely a deal by which both partners make a lot of money. Both partners are successful, benefit from it. Not that one benefits at the cost of the other. That is short-sighted. That doesn't hold. The idea that if you strike a commercial deal, you have to think about being beneficial for both sides is today accepted, and so it is in diplomacy, which has one aim, and again I'm talking about the democratic world, to create cooperation between two countries. A diplomat is sent abroad in order to create cooperation with a country in which he will stay for a while with his host country for the benefit of both. This is the new diplomacy, the modern diplomacy. But what is also new and also modern is that diplomats can move and create very little. Today, the population has to participate. It is not the governments. It is not the officials. It is not the politicians. It is the population that can create this international cooperation for the benefit of all at the same time. In other words, it's people like you. It's people like you who are needed. It's people like you who can develop the world technologically, economically, peacefully, for the benefit of all at the same time. And that's the only way you can think about development with benefit for all. There's one little advice I'd like to tell you before I leave, because I was told to go away. And you know that Maureen has to be respected. You know, only dead fish always swim with the trend. Only dead fish. Fish who are alive swim sometimes against the trend. Remember that. Thanks very much, and lots of luck.
Thank you, Ambassador Primand. We will now enjoy a short musical interlude performed by Miss Goni Kanani and accompanied by Ian Su. The song by Dani Robas, Mashu Chadash Matril, Something New Begins, was carefully chosen to mark your new beginnings as you finish this chapter.
משהו מתחיל, מתגלגל ברחובות, משהו אחר יורד במדרגות, משהו קורה תופס לו בזנב, משהו חדש מתחיל אצלי עכשיו, מישהו מוכר עומד ומסתכל, אמצע הרחוב ומישהו אוכל, כמה רעשים הופכים כבר למקצב, משהו חדש מתחיל אצלי עכשיו, דברים קורים תמיד בזמן נכון, באים הולכים ונהמון, את עיניי תראי ומגע חושך מתגנב, מונית שם מחכה, חתול רחוב קטן גובע ברעב, משהו חדש מתחיל אצלי עכשיו, ריח מתוקים מציץ מהחלון, שם במרחקים עולה כבר אור ראשון, קטע של רחוב קורע מתחתיו, משהו חדש מתחיל אצלי עכשיו, דברים קורים תמיד בזמן אחרון, באים הולכים בנהמון, את עיניי תראי ומגע מקרי בי, ניסים קורים הכל עוד אפשרי, האם פתאום אתה עברי? משהו קורה תופס לו בזנב, משהו חדש מתחיל אצלי עכשיו, דברים קורים תמיד בזמן אחרון, באים הולכים ונהמון, את עיניי תראי ומגע מקרי בי, ניסים קורים הכל עוד אפשרי, האם פתאום אתה עברי? רגע של שלווה, אני עוד פה לבד, זוג צעיר עובר, מחזיק לו יד ביד, מעבר לפינה פנים חיוך רחב, משהו חדש מתחיל אצלי עכשיו.
I am now pleased to invite the programs, one by one, to come up to the stage. We will start with the MA in Archaeology and History of the Land of the Bible.
Mark Kavanaugh. Erin Hall. Blake Huey. Justin Holcomb. Rachel Kleiner. Kyle Legand. Vanessa Linares. Sabina Metzer. Amanda Morrow. Michael Shama. And Sarah Stein.
I'd like to invite the MA in Conflict Resolution and Mediation.
Shoshana R. Abrams. Anthony David Bardaway. Farah Youssef Bedour. Lolita Brayman. Stephen D. Butler. Fiza Chowdhury. Hunjang Cho. Andre Chusid, Caroline Rachel Coulier, Daniel Michael Miller Frank, Ella Fuchs-Branner, Ayelet Tal Gabriel Duell, Joachim Lilia Garcet, Joanne Gittes, Emily Taylor Guthrie, Alexander Koifman, Eyal Kotler, Tatiana Luboshnikova, Valeria Nechaeva, Benjamin Adam Rogers, Lisa Reutgers, Alexandra H. Stein, Marie Kristen Tim, Neil R. Weeks.
The MA in Social Work, specializing in Crisis and Trauma Studies.
Okay. Ashley Baum. Benjamin Ehrenpreis. Lauren Escobar. Meital Eyal. Sarah Friedman. Rachel Halevi. Yuna Kaplun. Daniela Levin. Maria Lederman. Miriam Mayer. Misha Padon. Michelle Plotkin. Catherine Rowlands. Gabriela Schwartz. Andrea Vabino. Andrea Weisberger. Talia Winston.
The Masters in Public Health, Emergency and Disaster Management.
Melissa Abekassis. Henry Ayo Abimbola. Anna Bubis. Nicole Dalglish. Jonathan Green. Lowell Hoodies. Leah Kimber. Shalom, Michelle. Nicole Smith. Thank you.
The MA in Environmental Studies.
Ian Beiersdorf. Oh. Jimmy Micha. Eric Panetta. Scarlett Pesh. Alejandro Pomerantz. Daniel Solomon. Sophia Tershin.
The MA in Jewish Studies.
Sonia Muchalska, Rebecca Sachs, Dario Setoaggi. Good luck.
The MA in Middle Eastern Studies.
Kristen Carvalho. Tanya de Ildefonso Ocampos. Cristina Durano. Jeanette Graven. Alex Lasky. Dan Levy. Molly Lower. Danielle Mogadam. Jennifer Myers. Emily Rubenstein. Dylan Sandler. Mirella Seguin. Gert Siebold. Samantha Sementilli. Gabe Steinmeier. Morgan Thonart. Tiffany Wen. Elise Whitehead.
The MA in Migration Studies.
Cindy Anderson. Charlotte Anthony. Tamara Cohen. David Hale. Marina Klimchuk. Amy Martin. Ariel Salem. Anna Stein. Caitlin Taylor. Joshua Villanueva. And Fallon Wexler.
The MA in Political Science and Action, Leadership, Communication, and Elections.
Alexandro Bar. Jenna Brandt. Lam Chan Yu. Alisa Goldsmith. Charlotte Gambert. Eva Isakov. Jacqueline Kelly. Yasmin Kujman. Jamie Levine. Marley Long. Nair Perea. Augustina Peicheva. Alison Rosner Hyman. Kaya Tetley. And Sarah Warshawski.
The MA in Security and Diplomacy. לא ראיתי אותה.
Joachim Abardigis.
I was good.
Jan Arenheim. ורוניקה אסף.
כן, בסדר גמור.
אדם אייזוף. זוזנה ברק. רבקה בורנסטין.
Hello.
ג'יימס כהן. וישאל דרמדיקרי. ארנו אקר. יונתן גריאני. מקס גרבובסקי. Tiffany Harris. Johan Ehrenmark. David Jensen. Matei Keresh. Mark Kinra. William Klein. Joanna Latiu. Iji Ma. Hannah Kerli Metzala. Vera Ney. Mendel Pearl. Eliza Pesci. David Pinto. Felipe Sanchez. Rafael Sanchez Anibal. Sharon Schnarr. Neil Siegel. David Sousa. Natalie Spoden. Fanny van de Winchert.
Really? It was...
Kara Vick. Han Shu. Katarzyna Jamzicka.
And the Sofair International MBA.
Nadine Baboon. Elad Baron. Anat Baruch. Moises Ben Shimol. Karen Bernstein. Shachar Biton. Felix Dogby. Boaz Gavish. Andrew Geller. Kyle Giddens. Daniel Ginsberg. Maya Glick. Natalia Goldenberg. Arik Hefetz. Ariel Hassan. Lauren Joseph. Mary Khalil. Razan Khashan. Dina Meltzer. Gal Nirel. Philip Pfeffer. Lilia Popik. Asaf Porat. Maria Puentes. Sharu Kawarik. Benjamin Ratz. Aaron Rinberg. Debbie Shuval. Gal Smititsky. Letizia Soldan. Sabrina Seuss. Marina Steingart, Carly Serkis, Inessa Vengerko, Daniel Yakir, Ingrid Yee, and Ernest Yaboa.
And a big mazal tov to all of you. We have now reached the end of our ceremony. I would like to thank the wonderful staff of TAU International and especially Tal Mordorf for making this event so successful and memorable. Please allow me to remind you to bring back the caps and gowns at the exit of the event. And that we organize a very big party for you, so I hope you're all ready for that, as of 10 p.m. at the Valium, for you and all your friends. Thank you all for coming, and a big mazal tov.